Okay. I wrote them all down. Okay, if you could just like say your name and what you're currently studying and where.
I'm not studying anything right now.
Okay, well, where you were studying.
Okay. Do I? Oh, you're
Here,
recording
I'll
already.
ask them because I gotta have my voice in there. Yeah. So, what did you study?
I did 3 years of graphic design at St. Lawrence College, and then I did a 1-year postgrad in marketing.
Okay.
At St. Lawrence.
At St. Lawrence. What was your kind of key motivation for doing post-secondary school?
I felt that I needed something more in order to kind of advance myself.
Right.
I just didn't want to be stuck in a minimum wage job.
Yeah, fair enough. What made you consider kind of going to St. Lawrence rather than anywhere else?
I have children and my family is close, so I had the support. Right. Basically.
So support was like a big key to why you chose where you chose to go. After either of your diploma or postgrad thing, for either of them, did you ever consider studying internationally after?
I did a few times actually, but I just found that the feasibility wouldn't work for me because I couldn't afford to work full-time and then go to school and have a family.
If there was like an opportunity for a scholarship or grant, would you have potentially taken that route?
I would have considered it. I would have seriously considered it.
Yeah. You said you looked at some places. Where did you look?
I think I looked at the Ireland one, and I also looked at Australia.
Okay.
And I looked at England once.
Okay.
But and Germany, actually. I looked at Germany as well.
Okay.
So that was...
Out of those like 4 options, what was like the key standing point to what one you would have gone to if you could have had the opportunity to? Like what made it attractive to you?
England was attractive because, again, I have family and connections there, and maybe it would have been good for me to learn a little more about my own history while becoming educated. Germany was another one because I read a little bit about like their education system and how certain things they were like fairly good at accommodating other people who wanted to study in their country.
In what sense?
I can't remember exact specifics about what. It was a long time ago when I actually did the research.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that it actually just seemed a lot more welcoming, and I think that there were certain initiatives that they took in order to make things more accessible for outside students to work and go to school.
Right. So are you saying they had like a lot of information on what was expected of you? Is that what you're saying? Or?
I think they had a lot more information accessible as to like how I would be able to work and go to school in that country.
Right.
And do those things. It didn't look like it was going to be a huge puzzle that I would have to figure out by myself.
Yeah.
And that was a big reason why it appealed to me, right? Because I basically wanted someone to hold my hand through the process if I was going somewhere new.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me pull my questions up again. Sorry. What do you think the most important attribute of selecting a university or college is for the students?
Attribute is in...
Like what makes the university or college most appealing to students?
I think that a lot of it has to do with, number one, your financial situation, and then number two, the experiences that you want to gain from whatever place you choose. Yeah. It depends on what your personal goals are more than anything.
Right.
Like for me, it was extracurriculars and things like that.
Right. You talked about kind of accessibility with an international university. what information do you find would be like really important in order to like accept an offer of enrollment to an international school? Like hypothetically, if you were going to go to school, what information would you want to know?
I would want to be able to fill out like a package, like one time that I had everything for, like that was just like right there for me. I wouldn't want to search. I wouldn't want to have to like go to an embassy and apply for work visas and apply for whatever. I'd want something to be like ready and accessible right there.
Right.
Whether or not it was like, and I want something to be like personal for me. I don't just want to be given forms and then not be able to speak to anyone if I have questions.
Yeah.
I don't want an FAQ sheet. I want someone who's either like live chatting me or that a line that I'm actually able to call.
Right.
That can help walk me through those things.
Right. That makes sense, yeah. Do you feel that students that study internationally gets more value in their education?
Yes.
In what sense?
I think there's a lot more diversity, and there's experiences that aren't just like culturally. It's better to learn outside of the country.
Yeah. Because
it's not just when you're studying internationally, it's not just about the education that you're getting, but it's also about the different experiences and different ways of thinking in different cultures and societies, and I think that plays a huge role in how educated in general you are.
So you're saying not just book smart, but like
but like just even if you're coming back here to work or to apply that knowledge, when you're meeting other groups, because Canada is such a diverse place. You have experiences with other cultures.
I like that point a lot. Yeah. I haven't heard that one from anyone yet, so that's...
Well, you know.
That's why I'm interviewing you.
Came to the right place.
Yeah.
Still have a brain.
Do you think that students who study abroad gain a competitive advantage when they're applying and looking for jobs?
I think it would probably depend on where you're studying.
Right.
But yes.
I'm saying if you studied abroad and then came back to Canada and...
Again,
two people were applying to the same job, do you think they would have an advantage?
It just depends on what you're studying for and where you're studying, because if you're studying if you go to school in Jamaica and you're doing a hospitality program and then you apply here, it depends on which kind of thing that you're applying to.
I see what you're saying.
So,
during your time studying, were there international students in your classroom?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know, what did you like witness in terms of, was there any culture shock that you saw them go through?
I think for them, language barriers and like a lot of the places that they actually brought people from were very communal environments, and we're a colder society, so it was really hard for them to transition.
Right.
Because they had to find these little pockets of like people. It wasn't as welcoming as they probably perceived Canada to be.
Okay. Do you think the college or university could have done anything to aid this issue?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, people are people, so they're cliquey. I don't know if they could have done anything more. They did have programs and things like that at the school where international students could get together or where they showed them around.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were discarded, but there was only a certain kind of person that was really interested in being around. So it would be more like making that appealing to the population, like the actual locals or citizens of that country, right? Because not a lot of people have interest in dealing with the international students for one reason or another.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Did you witness any isolation or loneliness related to the international relocation of these students in your class?
International relocation?
Like the international students, did you witness them like facing any isolation or loneliness?
Yes. Yeah. Mostly because of language barrier. Well, language and cultural barriers. Yeah. Like I said.
Okay. Unrelated, but how many hours per day do you spend on social media?
Lots of time.
Huh?
I don't know.
Give me an estimate.
Oh, God. I don't know. Probably like at least a good. I would say at least 4 to 5 right now.
4 to 5 hours? Okay. What
Less
sort of
than-
marketing material do you find most effective for yourself?
Digital.
Digital?
For sure.
In what sense? Could you give me an example?
Marketing, like, well, if it's promotional, then I get a lot of my promotional stuff through like my Facebook and my email actually, and occasionally the people that I follow on Instagram who like sponsor and do those things.
Right, so influencers and stuff like that.
The influencers. For sure.
Okay. I think that wraps it up. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Just in time because there's a helicopter above us.